Hey there, did you know that pricing a listing right is the single most important factor in making sure your listings sell quickly and for the most money? I'm Tom Miller, and in this video, I'm going to share with you how I price homes so that my clients are happy, their homes sell quickly, and we get them the most money possible in the market. So stay tuned. All right, so before we jump into the mechanics of how we effectively price a home, I want to take a minute to talk about why it's so important to price a home right when you first start with your listing. So the first reason is when a homeowner hires you to list their home, they're expecting you to get it sold. And the reality of it is overpriced listings do not sell. I'm sure you've seen listings out on the MLS that have been out there forever, maybe 90 days, 120 days. Maybe they've been listed for a couple times, maybe a year, and they just haven't sold. Now, some of those properties have a problem, but the reality of it is every property sells when it's priced correctly. You just have to find that right price. One of the other reasons it's so important to price a listing effectively is that home, the first day it's on the market, is worth the most. And the longer that home sits on the market, the less that home is worth. Again, looking at the MLS, how many times have you seen a listing that has had multiple price reductions? Well, once you've done that second, third, maybe fourth price reduction, now you're chasing the market. And that's a bad spot to be in because now every buyer has seen that you've done some price reductions and they're waiting for you to drop that price again. That's not a situation you want to get into. So again, if we price it right from the beginning, we're not going to get behind the market. We're going to be right in the market and we're going to get that home sold in a good amount of time. So there's some basic information that I'm going to collect about a home before I ever get started with pricing it. First of all, I'm not going to price a home until I've actually been to it. And I know there's other agents that are going to tell you, oh, you don't need to see it before you put a price on it. I cannot accurately price a home without doing a quick walkthrough on the home. 5 or 10 minute walkthrough, I'm looking for condition. So, what's the exterior like? Is the siding in good shape? Is the roof in good shape? Is the concrete in good shape? Are the windows in good shape? What kind of patio or deck or yard or landscaping does the home have? Is it above average? Is it below average? Those things matter. Inside the house, I'm looking at the flooring. Is it ancient? Is it brand new? Where flooring is a huge deal when it comes to pricing a home, because if you've got to put all new carpeting or all new flooring in a home, that could be $20,000 for a buyer, and that can affect the price of a home dramatically. Does it have wallpaper? What color is the paint? Is it extremely dated? Does it look like new? Have they done everything to update the home? Is it a brand new home? Is it a really old home? You got to look at all of these things, and you got to take all that into account when you're getting ready to price the home. Another thing I'm looking at when I go visit that home is I'm going to do a quick drive around the neighborhood and just kind of take an inventory of what's going on in that neighborhood. Is it a newer neighborhood? Is it an older neighborhood? Are there a lot of homes for sale in the neighborhood? Are there no homes for sale in the neighborhood? What type of property is it? Is it in just a regular traditional neighborhood? Is it a townhome? Is it an acreage out in the country? All of those things are just as important as the condition of the home when it comes to pricing the home. All right, so now that we've collected all the basic information about the property we're going to be listing, I'm going to talk to you about how to get started in pricing a home. The gold standard for coming up with a price for a home is finding comparable sales. What you're going to want is 3 homes that are as similar to the home that you're going to be listing as possible. Now, the reality of it is, unless it's brand new construction and there's 3 other homes just like it that just sold, there is no home that's an exact carbon copy of the home that you're going to be listing. So what are you going to do? You're going to have to go on the MLS and do your homework. There's 3 main tools I use to place the best price on a home and help a seller understand and come to the same conclusion. They are the assessor's page. So your county assessor has the tax website that shows all the property's basic information. The MLS, the multiple listing service, which we as agents have access to, where we can go in and look at all the information we need on the market. And the last piece is an equity evaluation tool. It is the single best report I've ever seen, and I believe that there's probably nobody else in this market that is using this actual report. Yes, it's harder to put together than just a little CMA report, but it's also going to do a much better job telling the story of how to price the home and help you get your seller on board to price the home right from the beginning. Okay, so let's get going on pricing this home. The first thing I've done is pull it up on the assessor's page. I want to make sure I've got all the information about this home possible. So I'm going to go down to this residence record. This is where we're going to pull the important information into the report. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to our MLS, and I'm going to go in and do a search. And I'm going to look at everything that's on the market right now. This home happens to be a 2-story. Now we're just going to look at everything on the market right now. So we're going to do within 1 mile of 3308 Melanie Drive. I'm going to scroll down and see there's 49 matches. And I just want to get an idea of what's actually in the market right now. So I'm just going to click through these real fast. I'm going to look at the age. So that was built in 92, 2,400 square feet. I'm going to look at the price, and I'm going to look at the pictures. Okay, so that looks like a pretty nice place. And I'm just going to keep on clicking through these and just go through them real fast so I have a good idea of what's actively on the market, if there's any pendings. I'm looking at this before I'm narrowing anything down because I don't want to miss something that might be important. So look at that one. That one is built in 1978, but it looks really new on the inside. Somebody's done a bunch of work to this home. Now the outside might not look as nice as the inside, and that's probably why they didn't start with an exterior picture. We're going to see real quick. There we go. See, that's an interesting house. Kind of a funky exterior. So it's not perfect, but hey, it's sold. But it was also on the market for 138 days. So they probably started high with price. Keep clicking through these here real fast. Pendings, pendings, pendings. Now we're going to see the sold homes. I want to see in a mile radius of this house what different types of homes are there and what's the range. And as you can see, there's a pretty broad range of homes in about a mile radius of this home. So I'm going to go back to, I'm going to expand this page a little bit. I'm going to go back to the criteria. Now, I'm going to hone in on finding the actual comps for this house. And so we're going to start looking back 180 days. We've got this in here for a category. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to click residential because we don't want to look at condos and we don't want to look at acreages. And then I don't mess with architectural style, but I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click on 2-story. I'm probably going to go ahead and select 1.5 story as well. And then I'm going to leave the rest of that open. We don't need to worry about the area because this map search is catching that for us. For now, I'm probably not going to fill any price information in, but I am probably going to go to year built. So this home was built in 68. So I think we're going to go 1965 through 1990. I'm going to, again, go kind of a broad range here, but I want to make sure that we're getting enough that it matters. The other thing we're going to look at is living area square feet. So this house has 3,000 square feet. I know that's pretty big for this general area, so I think we might go down to 2,500 square feet up to 3,200 square feet. Whoa. Now we can see down here, there's only one match. Let's just see what that one was. Well, this clearly is not a comp for the house that I'm working on. So what that tells me is I am going to have to broaden out my criteria a little bit. So I'm probably going to eliminate year built, and I'm probably going to eliminate that square footage. Now we're just going to have to go through and see what we got. So again, this one's not a comp. This one was built in 78, it's 2,289 square feet. Let's look at the pictures. Now again, what you haven't seen is the interior of the home that is the subject here. What I can tell you about it is it's definitely a home that was built in 1968. The exterior probably needs some paint and needs some siding repair. The interior has not been updated for a really long time. The flooring is pretty much all original, so the carpet going up the stairs is trashed. The carpet, any place there's carpet is not great. and it's really dated. There's a little bit of a pet smell. And honestly, this home is going to end up in that low range price wise, just because nothing's been done to it for probably over 30 years from an interior standpoint. They did do an addition on the back of the house about 15 years ago, and that's okay. But overall wise, it's going to end up in the low range. So, but we need to see where this house is going to be anyway. So let's look at. Well, this is a pretty fancy house. Here, this comp. So that's clearly not going to be a comp. Let's look at this house on Eula Drive. This looks like it's got potential to be a comp. Nice yard. Definitely nice, but a little dated on the inside. Looks like, I can't tell how new that carpet is, but it appears to be in amazing shape. Looks like it's got some newer appliances, so that's definitely a plus. I can tell here that this is laminate countertops. Those countertops aren't great. You can see it's chipped right there. Again, definitely kind of a dated look in this home, but you can see in this picture that carpet looks to be in really nice shape. You can see the house has been nicely decluttered. I mean, there's nothing in here. Clearly, they got great instructions and followed them. So again, very nice home, but a little bit dated. Let's take a look at this one. Kind of a dated exterior. Definitely dated interior. Although the flooring looks like it's in pretty good shape. They did put granite in the kitchen, but it's not a current color. It's definitely showing some dating, but that's a nice finish. But I see something through the windows. I see a swimming pool. That right there makes this home not a comparable sale. Plus, it's only 2,000 square feet. All right, so this house was built in 1991, but it is a two-car garage. Dated kitchen, does have granite, but again, not a popular granite. Carpet looks old, looks clean, but looks old. Basic trim, good sized bedroom, very nice yard. Funky paint colors, for sure. Doesn't show good in those pictures. It's like they've done a laminate floor in that bathroom. Definitely dated master bath there. And the basement's kind of finished. So again, this one's a little smaller, 2,276 square feet. Nice sized lot. What we're looking at on this one is what's this list price per square foot, and it's at 129 bucks. All right, this house might be a comp. This one's built in six. Let's see what we got price here. 240. It's only 1,470 square feet though, so that one's too small. 1,700. All these houses are a little bit smaller, so I'm not finding what I want. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have to go back just a little bit further. We're going to go back a whole year. Now, one thing to know in pricing is appraisers actually can go back up to 2 years if they can't find comps. It's more important to find similar homes than it is to find a house that sold in the last 3 weeks. They need to be similar. All right, let's see what we've got here. Whoa, that's a fancy house. That's not a comp. That's not a comp. All right, so this one was built in 1967. It's on Linda Drive, not too far from our current potential listing here, and it's 3,200 square feet. Wow, that one sold for $375. So let's take a look. Ooh, paint colors. They've updated the flooring. Very clean, very nice. But again, some dated, a little bit dated. Oh, what do I see through the windows here again? This is basically a brand new home. We're not going to touch that because that doesn't have any bearing. We've looked at that one. Okay, so this house was built in 99. It is 3,000 square feet. Let's just see what this one looks like. It's got some bright red shutters. Holy cow. Okay, so it looks like the carpet shot in this one. And it's, it's newer, but it's still showing dated. Kitchen's not great, even though they put granite in there. Looks like maybe they wasted some money. Deck's nice. Looks like it's showing its age a little bit. Definitely dated master bath. Although it does have a nice updated shower. Paint. Woo! This house is quite a bit newer. I'm going to go ahead and check the box and we'll see if we keep this one or not. But again, notice the sold price per square foot is down to $105 a square foot. So that's something to talk about with our seller. Is this house was built in '99 and it's down at $105 a square foot. New house. All right, we looked at that one. This one's a little small. Let's look through pictures anyway, see what we got here. Definitely some updating been done in this house. Newer appliances, newer countertops. They've got the cabinets cleaned up real nice. That's a nice home. It's just probably not a comp because it's too small. Okay, we've seen that one. I'm going to just pop through these here and see if anything else jumps out. Oh, let's look at this one. Horton Trail. Again, this one was built in '85, so it's a little bit older, but it's getting closer to our square footage. And you can see this one sold for $98 a square foot. This is probably going to be a comp. 2-car garage. Looks dated from the exterior. Flooring looks good. Looks older for sure, but it looks okay, but definitely dated interior. Wallpaper. This is probably a little nicer than the one that we're looking at listing, but it's definitely a comp because look at how dated everything is. Wow. Blue carpet. Very dated, but very clean. And an unfinished basement. This is definitely a comp. Let's just see if there's any others in here. So we've got 3 checked. Oh, let's look at this one. This one was built in '79. Definitely can see some things from '79, but also they've done some work, it looks like. Yeah, kitchen's pretty dated. That fridge is really dated. Woo! Bright colors. Finished basement. Okay. That's 2,456 square feet. I'm going to check it. Let's just narrow this down now here. Hang on a sec. Refine. Narrow. Okay, now it's down to the 4 we've selected. Okay, so we've got this one, this one, this one, and this one. This is where it gets a little bit complicated. So now I've got to decide, which one am I not going to use? Because you really don't want to use more than 3. And this is, again, an important part of the process here because we're really trying to narrow it down. Was this the one with the, oh, yep, this one is not a comp. Okay, we're down to 3. So now what I do is go back here, go back to actions. Oh, there we go. And I like pulling this quick CMA report. So I like this report because it gives you all the pertinent information and it's going to help you fill in that front page really fast. It's got the days on the market, it's got the sold price, it's got the sold date, it's got the list price, it's got the year it was built, it's got the basement square footage if it's finished, and it's got the above grade square footage. It's also got some averages. So I'm going to go ahead and download that report. So I'm going to go in and do an agent summary on this. And then I'm going to turn that into a PDF. So I always put these in a folder for the listing I'm working on because I want to be able to find it easily and pull all this stuff together. So as you can see, this report's got a lot of great information on it, but it also has the listing agent on there. And I don't want to mark it for the listing agent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and adjust this report to erase. On my Mac, it's very easy to go in and create a box to cover up the name of the listing agent. So those are my sold comps. Boom, one thing done. So now we're going to start filling this information in. I'm going to pull up this page so that we can easily go in and fill this information in. Okay, so address number 1 is 3819 Patricia Drive. What was the list price? List price was $258. What was the sold price? $255. What day did it close? It closed on 4/15/2019. How many days was it on the market? It was on the market for 110 days. How many above grade square foot? 2456. 600. Okay, now I'm going to go here real quick and I'm going to plug in. I'm going to go back to the home page. I'm going to plug that address in. I'm going to plug in 3819 Patricia. Okay, boom. We've got 2,456 and 600, and the tax value is 253,500. 253,500. And let's now go to the appraisal, and we're going to do 3819 Patricia, Urbandale. Let's see what we get here. All right. So the appraisal is 233,120, and the Zillow is 259,592. All right, there's count number 1. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit save. It's important to save your work while you're working because you don't want to do a bunch of work and then lose it. I've done that before and that sucks. All right, next one. I'm not going to bore you with me filling out this form. We just do all 3 properties the same. So I'm going to fast forward through it quick. Just double check all that. Looks good. So now we've got a range here of 255 to 325. That's a pretty broad range. Again, we're searching a mile around this house. So page 1 is done. That's a bulk of the input work. We got some more work to do though. So we're going to go to this page here. We're going to use this information to go back to the MLS. We're going to uncheck that. We're going to uncheck that. And we're going to go active. Now we're going to look at all of the potential homes that are actively on the market in a 1 mile radius around this. We're going to do that price range, which is 255 to 325. Okay, so there's 2 homes on the market in a mile radius. I'm going to need some information here, and so I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do the quick CMA because it's going to give me the information I want. But I'm not going to download this one. So right now we're going to fill in right here. There are currently 2 homes on the market. The average days on the market, here we'll pull this back over here a little bit. So right here are the averages on the bottom. 19 days is the average days on the market. And the current average list price is $294,950. Now we need the past 12 months sold homes. Okay, we're going to go back to the criteria because now we're going to go here and we're going to do 0 to 365. So again, we're going to hit this all. So we're going to check them all. So they end up in this quick CMA, and we're going to pull this quick CMA. We know there's been 24 homes sold. So the average days on the market is 36. The average sold price is $288,274. $288,274. Okay, now we got to figure out this information. So we're going to go back to the criteria page. Excuse me. And now we're going to do 365 to 730. So that's the prior 12 months we're going to look at. And there were 19 homes. Once again, we're going to click all so it checks all of them. And we're going to pull up the quick CMA. Again, there were 19. You can find that right there. Average days on the market was 42. and the average sold price was $282,856. All right, now this report's complete. So we want to show our client this information that right now the current average list price is $294,950, which is higher than what homes have sold for in the last 2 years. There's only 2 homes on the market with an average of 19 days. We want them to see that in the past 12 months, the average home in that area has sold for $288. In the prior year, it's $282. So prices have come up a little bit, and the market has generally sold just a little bit faster and a few more sold. We're going to come to the summary page, and we're going to see if there's any things that screwed up. Yeah, looks pretty average. Now we're going to look at the range page here. That number seems a little high. Let me go through and look at the rest of the numbers here. Let's look at the CMA. So we've got an average sold price of $288. And this one house on Wilden Trail is really pulling that valuation up. Now, just because I'm interested, let's go back. I want to go back and look at the pictures again so I can remind myself. Here we go. Okay, that's right. So this house is just a little bit newer. It's clean, but dated. But it's a lot newer than our comp. And so that's something that we're going to have to really talk about, that, you know, it's kind of skewing the numbers because it matches square footage wise, but it's probably technically too new to be a comp. So that's important to know. But I'm going to use it because we need 3, and I think it's probably the, you know, of all of them that we looked at, it's one of the 3 that's the best. Again, there is no perfect comp for these homes. We're just doing the best we can to find similar homes that, you know, show very similar. Before I'm done with this, I'm going to go and print the active listings. I'm going to print the pendings. I'm going to print the solds. Let's look at our tax evaluation. So you can see there's pretty good variance between tax values and sold prices here. So that's important to know, that that's kind of all over the board. Like this one, sold price 322, but its tax value is 388.6. This one sold for 268. Its tax value is 289.6. But this one's tax value is actually a little bit below what it sold for. So again, good information to have so we know what's going on with that. Again, looking at the ePraisal, Zillow, total square footage. I think this is probably actually the range we're going to be in from a square footage standpoint. Above grade square footage. And again, this is a little bit higher than I think we probably are. Now, the next thing I do is I'm going to print this report. And again, I use numbers. Mine's going to look a little different than yours, and you're going to have to know how to print a report. You want to make sure that you print all sheets. I don't want to actually print it. I want it to be a PDF. Save as PDF. Okay, so we're going to save it in the right folder. Okay, now I've got to go in and make this report a report I can present to the sellers of this home. Okay, so I'm done with numbers now, basically. I'm not done with the MLS, but I am done with the assessor and ePraisal. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. Okay, so I'm going to open up the PDF. Bring it up here. Now, I want to go to thumbnail view because I want to see what's on the side here. So we're going to move some stuff around. So this is the pricing and strategy guide. We got that page, we got that page. We're going to get some blank pages in here I got to get rid of. So this isn't a perfect process. And I do go through and delete the empty pages and a couple of other pages, but I'm not going to bore you with that. Okay, I'm going to hit save. Now, we're almost ready. I'm going to print the checked ones. Now, because the subject home is not as nice as these, I'm going to go ahead and include the photo gallery. Now, this is some serious printing if you're printing this stuff out in color. But again, if you're going to make, let's say, between $6,000 and $15,000 on a listing, I think you can afford to print out a few pages of color. Sold photos. Okay, so I'm going to open that file. Now I use Preview on my Mac for my PDFs, and what is really slick with Preview is I can go in and I can highlight all these thumbnails from this page, and I can drag these right in over here underneath my sold listings. Now, part of my report. Now, my seller can see exactly the photos of the sold comps. We've got the sold comp summary. Once again, we're going to go to the thumbnail view on that, and we're going to drag that. We're going to drag that right over here. Put that right there. Okay, so now all of these are just part of my report. Okay, now what we're going to do on the MLS is I'm going to go back so I'm not in the narrow down results. Okay, there we go. We're going to look at all the actives on the market. So we're going to get rid of this. Go to print, save as PDF.
This is the same process we went through with the solds, dragging the thumbnails from the files over to the report file.
All right, now we've got our report. So now I'll print this in color and take a copy of it with me when I go meet with the sellers. And again, we'll just scroll through, got the main page there, cover page. We've got a little market analysis information. We've got the questions. We've got these little charts. We get into the meat of the report. And again, here I'm going to have to talk to them about why they don't fit into any of these ranges, which is going to be a little more complicated than this one. Most of the houses you do are going to be in this mid-range, just the reality of it. This home is not. Okay, that's our report. I'm probably going to suggest they try 275 on this home, is the reality of it. We'll see where that goes. I'm looking forward to meeting with these folks. So again, that's how I put pricing together for homes. All right, well, I hope you learned something today. These are the tools I use to price homes. I can't impress upon you enough how important it is to make sure you're doing your best when pricing homes for clients. Too many agents overlook this, and it truly, from a listing standpoint, is the most important thing you do for your clients is pricing their home right. It's going to make it sell faster. It's going to end up getting them the most money, and everybody's going to win when you do it well. Again, I'm Tom Miller. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon.